Hi, hello, this is 2013, okay? Imagine you're me. So we're gonna go through this together. But you're me 12 years ago. So 2013, yes. Wow! Anywho, you're me, and you're going to grandma's house. Except grandma's house is not a cottage house in Europe. It's not milk and cookies. It's beans and spinach and meat, and your only seasoning is salt. You have this churning that's happening in your stomach. This intense churning feeling in your stomach, and you don't know where it's coming from. They're cutting down the trees. They're cutting down the trees around here. Anyways, yeah, you had a pretty big breakfast. Your biggest regret. You had a pretty big breakfast, and you are trying to, get through going to your grandma's house. And after 20 minutes of going through non-tarmac roads, it's literally just bump after bump after bump after bump after bump after bump after bump. You finally reach grandma's house, and you're sitting there. Your grandma's excited to see you, except you can't really speak to her because she speaks a completely different language that you did not learn while you were in this house. But that's a story for a different day. So you're sitting there watching the adults argue, and all of a sudden you get this churning feeling in your stomach, and you're like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know what I need to do. And I'm like, I've seen the condition of this house. This house it's not a cutesy, pretty looking house. You got a couple bedrooms, you got a living room, you got a backyard, you got a little nanny who's helping around with your grandma. That's okay. But it's also a place that hasn't been renovated since the 1970s and is bedridden with spiders. And you having a lot of arachnophobia, you're out of sight, out of mind. You're out of sight, out of mind. You don't really know what to say, what to do. You just don't really speak. You try and distract yourself from having to use the bathroom, but eventually the amount of will that it takes for you to even get through it becomes too much. It's just overturning, like Roe v. Wade. It's just overturning, and you can't deal with it anymore. You have to go. You have to let it go, like Roe v. Wade. Let me stop, please. You have to let it go. So you go, and you're like, to an adult that day, and I was like, I don't know where the bathroom is. And it led me to this dark ass corridor in my grandma's house to the right. It's this big room. I'm talking I can't do measurement sizes, but think of like a bedroom here in the States. Yeah. It feels like approximately the size of a natural kid's in the States. That's the toilet. That's where the toilet is. It's one singular, desolate toilet. No lid, brown water. And you have to go so bad, it's not even funny. You have to pick up the toilet paper. I'm clutching my ass as I speak about this. Wow. You have to clutch your ass as you go. As soon as you put your skin next to the cold tundra of that lid, this is so hard for me to talk about. Let me tell you, I don't think I've ever thought about something so vivid for so long in my life. I had to go into the deepest, darkest trenches of my brain and think about the most glamorous bathroom at the time that I thought was so amazing. A gold ass toilet that I was doing my stuff on. And that thought just carried with me. It was just there. It was just present. It was just there. I just kept thinking about it. That golden toilet. I'm sitting on that golden, luxurious Squidward ass toilet. I'm just sitting there. Now, we're going to do something a little bit better. A little bit more humane. I'm so sorry, Grandma. I like my grandma. I just don't like her house. I'm sorry. Okay, now, flash forward to maybe 2 years ago. I'm going abroad to Japan. Woo! Yay! Okay, I'm in Japan. Had to carry 2 check-in bags, a carry-on, and a backpack. Too much. I'm tired. Came back from a 13-hour flight from where I am right now, and I want to change my clothes more than anything, and I want to take a shower more than anything so I can go to sleep early. I go to the bathroom. That's the first thing I do because I'm like, I need to let it all out. Sit down in that bathroom. It is so warm. I'm like, whoa. This is what they were first talking about when you go to those Japanese toilets and you can sit on the heated toilet thing. I don't know why, but I feel like it releases what you need to release a lot easier because you're not having to clutch your ass to a cold toilet seat. Second, it had all these buttons. Of course, they're all in Japanese, but me, I've taken Japanese for about 4 years, so I could, do some context clues and deduct which one is which. You spray it. You spray in the front. Oh! I was very scared the first time. I was like, water spritzing up your whatever is not a fun look. It doesn't sound fun. But you can obviously adjust the water pressure and whatnot so it doesn't like shove up your ass, you know what I mean? But I do that for the first time with warm water. I sat in that toilet for an hour, guys. I sat in that toilet for an hour. That was the nicest bathroom experience I've ever had. I think what also comes close too is when I went to the Starbucks roast thing in 2023. Like they have a big roastery that you can go to, like because like there's like 7 hidden locations around the world, and one of them is in Tokyo. And I went there and I was like, this is such a sleek ass bathroom, bro. I wish I could take this Toto toilet with me and go home. I would be so happy. I would be so happy. And I'm gonna be so honest with you, I need to go use the bathroom, so I'll be right back. So ever since, I've low-key had bathroom anxiety. I'm only ever comfortable barely using the bathrooms in somebody's house because I'm like, we don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, I eat healthy, but sometimes eating healthy can cause some stuff. Anywho, bidets. I wanted to talk about the importance of bidets and something that I learned about, you know, why Americans don't really use bidets as much as like some other parts of the world. So bidets, there's like a couple types of bidets. I think the one that I've been the most exposed to are the Japanese bidets, just because I stayed in Japan for about 4.5 months. I have a bidet of my own that I own. So it spurts cold water, but honestly, you get pretty used to it after a while, so it's not too bad. I love bidets. They save so much toilet paper. They clean so much better than toilet paper. And according to Google, it offers superior hygiene and comfort compared to toilet paper, potentially reducing irritation and saving money and resources in the long run. A couple years ago, I actually learned, now take this with a grain of salt because I'm not completely sure if it's true, but part of the reason why it's not really like encouraged or, you know, really taught around here is because of lobby makers like Charmin Ultra Soft. My parents own it, and don't get me wrong, it's a great quality tissue paper, but again, paper does not beat water, okay? When it comes to a battle, water will always beat paper. And think about it, when you're washing your stuff in the shower, which one cleans better? Does it clean better with a toilet paper, or does it clean better with water and then a little bit of soap, of course? Because I pray to God that some of y'all use soap and water to clean your ass, because I've seen horrendous shit on TikTok about how people don't clean their asses, and I'm like, that's why y'all get diseases. That's why the Europeans got the plague. They got the plague because they didn't know how to clean. Them bitches got the plague because they didn't know how to clean. Washing their hands was a foreign concept to them. Apparently the Queen of England, I don't know which queen it was. It could have been Queen Victoria, Queen Elizabeth. I think it was Queen Elizabeth, but I'm not sure. One of them did not bathe. They only bathed twice in their entire lifetime. Isn't that crazy? They only bathed twice in their entire lifetime. Y'all are gross. Going back to policymakers, they, you know, they have a really big grip. These Charmin and all these other toilet people, they got a big grip in the toilet paper industry. And if people were properly introduced to bidets and how to use them, especially the Japanese bidets, because I find them more efficient than the ones that are like usually in the Middle East. It's just my opinion. Feel free to use whatever. If people were introduced to bidets here, they would literally go out of business. They would literally go out of business, because not only does it literally save the environment, but it cuts costs. So I don't know if they banned Toto, because Toto is like one of the companies that makes those toilets for, you know, attachments with bidets and such. I think too, if all the attachments to a bidet were much more integrated, like the heater, the warm seat, the dryer. There's a dryer. There's a dryer you can use. This is why I think of that Starbucks toilet every day. Oh my God, that Starbucks toilet was so amazing. I think it had a dryer. Like you could you washed your ass. That was typical. You had the warm seat. It was a sleek black design. I'm talking like You know how you go in those cars, those Lamborghini cars that have that sleek back design? It was like that, but for a toilet. I said, oh damn, deluxe relieving experience. Oh, I think about that toilet every day. Oh my god, you have the cleaner, you have the dryer, you have the heater. Oh, and you deodorize the air. Oh, and another thing is that they have little music that you can play. Oh, Japanese toilets are just so fucking superior, bro. They're just so superior to the ones we have here. I had never seen a beautiful, glorious bathroom. Oh my god. They smell good. They have white noise. You can't even put rain for privacy. I remember I was trying to run away from some friends because I remember I was like, I low-key don't want to walk home with some friends today, so I hid in the toilet of the Japanese school. That toilet was nice. Oh, and there's one thing I want in life too, is to get a goddamn toilet just like that. That toilet was nice. Did I even explain the policymakers? Yeah, they know that if bidets became a popular thing and people could figure out what the hell they could do with their toilets and how have a pleasurable relieving experience, I think they would go out of business real quick, because you can actually have a more luxurious relieving experience than what we have right now with our high-ass toilets. And actually, while we're talking about toilets, they should not actually be that high. They should be relatively low, because technically we're supposed to be squatting on the ground. That's the best way for us to take, the ones and the twos. I hope y'all don't have threes, but the ones and the twos. Okay, that's the best way we should be doing it. So if the toilets were lower, that would actually be even greater for our systems, because our large intestines cannot handle pushing. I don't remember the implications, but there are implications. I'm not a healthcare expert, but I just know this stuff because I've done a lot of research on my free time, unfortunately. But yeah, Toto. I know Toto's really expensive, so that's probably another deterrent. It's not going to happen anytime soon. Y'all have seen the tariffs? That's not happening anytime soon. But we pray. That's another deterrent for me. Like, when I was looking at their toilets and see if we can install, I was like, that's probably gonna take like up to like maybe $10,000, maybe a little bit less than that. But like, because like the toilet I saw was like $3,000, and I was like, what about the installation process? I don't know how that much that is, but I feel like it's a lot of money because you have to like pump the water and shit and blah 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 blah. I don't know. At the end of the day, it's also a cultural thing as well. People are not comfortable with water shooting up their asses. Can't really stop people from knowing, but doesn't hurt to educate. So that's what I'm here for. I think that's all I really have to say. Yeah. Okay. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed. No, I hope you enjoy your next relieving session, and I highly encourage everyone to get a bidet. Please. It's so good. It's so good.